So how do we calculate the gradient or the steepness of a line? Well, in order to calculate the gradient or the steepness of a line, we need to know first the x and y coordinates of any 2 points on the line. What that means is that before we can do anything else, we need to find 2 points on that line and determine the x and the y coordinates of those 2 points. What does that actually mean? Well, here we have a line, and what it means is that before we can work out the steepness or the gradient of that line, we need to choose any 2 points on this line. You can choose any lines, but any points, but this point here is good because you can easily see its coordinate 1, 1. This point here is also good because you can easily determine its coordinates 3, 5. So the first thing is to choose any 2 coordinates, 2 points on the line I should say, and then determine the coordinates of those 2 points. So here, point A and point B are the points that I've chosen. So that's the first step. Then the second step is to determine the x and the y coordinates of that point. In this case, 1, 1 is the point A, and 3, 5 are the coordinates of the point B. Once you've done that, we are going to use a formula to work out the gradient. And here is a aide-memoire and a mnemonic to help you to remember the formula, and that is, to get the gradient, you have to get your xylophone. To work out the gradient, you must get your xylophone. And get your xylophone is just to say that g for gradient is determined by the change in the y coordinates divided by the change in the x coordinates. So what does that actually mean? Well, gradient equals y change over x change. Get your xylophone. What that means is that you see the coordinate here for y is 1 and the coordinate here for y is 5, and they've changed. You've gone from 1 to 5 as you follow the line upwards. So there's a change from 1 to 5. And similarly, x has also changed from 1 to 3 as you go from your first point to your second point. And you're going to use those changes to calculate the gradient. The x change is basically from 1 to 5, which is 5 take away 1, means it has changed by 4. If you go from 1 to 5, you've changed by 4. And if you go from 1 to 3, you've changed by 2. So when you do your calculations, you'll see that the gradient will be the change in the y over the change in the x. Remember, get your xylophone. So 5 take away 1 gave us 4. 3 take away 1 gave us 2. When you divide them, you get the answer 2. If it's a positive gradient, you don't have to write the plus. We take it for granted that a number without a sign is positive. But you can put plus 2 just to be very sure and to distinguish from a negative gradient, which would have been minus 2. So in other words, if you want to get the gradient of a line, first of all, you choose any 2 convenient points on the line, find their coordinates, see how the y coordinate has changed, in this case from 1 to 5, that is a change by 4. See how the x coordinate has changed from 1 to 3, that is a change of 2. When you divide those 2 numbers, whatever you get as an answer will be your gradient. I hope you understand that, and if you do, have a go at some questions in the Learning Zone.